Good afternoon, folks. And today we're going to talk about the rivalry between Nebraska and Michigan and how that pretty much has started and if this is going to be a continued rivalry or how that's going to end. Well, there's been big breaks between the two, and then there's been some starts and everything. Now, the rivalry first started back in 1905, but then it's had gaps between the two and big breaks. The first rivalry began in 1905 when Michigan played Nebraska and won at Michigan 31-0. 6 years later, they played Nebraska at home at Nebraska, and it ended in a tie at 6 apiece. Then, the start of the World War I, when the United States entered World War I, Michigan won at Michigan 20-0. And then years later, right before Vietnam began, the United States entered the war and beat Vietnam and defeated Vietnam during the Vietnam era and beat Michigan at Michigan 25-13 at Michigan. And then in 1986, during the Schembechler era, closer towards the end of the Schembechler era, Michigan beat Nebraska in the Fiesta Bowl 27-23. And then several years later, in 2005, 100 years after the rivalry began, Nebraska pulled off the victory in the Alamo Bowl 32-28. Then in 2011, Michigan trounced Nebraska 45-17 at Michigan. But then in back-to-back years, Nebraska pulled off victories at Nebraska, winning 23-9. Then at Michigan, Nebraska pulled off a victory, winning 17-13. But then Michigan stomped Nebraska in 2018, 56-10. Then at Nebraska, they sneaked past Nebraska, 32-29. Then 2022 through 2023, it was a stomping ground for Michigan, and they were home, winning 34-3 and 45-7. Both times they were at home against Nebraska. Now, Nebraska, on the other hand, they trail the series 4-8. Once coming in the Alamo Bowl, twice at Michigan, and once at home. Now, this game between Nebraska, I haven't seen a Nebraska this caliber since the Tom Osborne era. Now, 93 and 94 seasons, 94 and 95 seasons were when Nebraska was at one of their hottest seasons. They went undefeated back-to-back. Then in 96, they kind of went down a little hill. Then in 97, they won it. They actually shared it with Michigan. They ended up trouncing Tennessee 42-17. And so that's literally how that went. I mean, this could have gone either way, but who knows? I'm looking at this to be like one of those Nebraska teams that actually might be. Michigan's favored by 2.5 points, according to sources. I mean, this could literally go either way. Dylan Raiola, he's moved up in the rankings. I've always favored Nebraska. As if I wasn't a Buckeye fan, I'd probably be a Nebraska fan. I mean, Nebraska's been has been a very well-coached, disciplined team. I mean, they've played some pretty good games. They've just dominated from start to finish in their games this year. I think they might have the upper hand, in my personal opinion. I give them the upper hand. Nebraska looks like they really want to play the game. I mean, I look forward to Nebraska really coming to town and causing havoc in Michigan's secondary. I mean, if you saw how they played against Oklahoma, I mean, obviously they were lights out against Central Michigan. That's going to be a no-brainer there. Everyone's going to anyone with a brain knows Michigan's going to get dominated. Anyone will dominate Michigan. So, Central Michigan, that is. I mean, Michigan, they're good, but they're pretty. I'm not going to give Michigan the benefit of the doubt. I mean, they might be 21st right now, or 23rd. I'm not really sure. I have to look at that, but we'll give my benefit of the doubt with them. But my view of this game between these two teams, Nebraska, a very well-coached team, coming off a 59-7 win over against Houston Christian. Michigan, a very well-coached team as well, but obviously they've played really well, despite a one-loss game. But this team, nothing to be disappointed about. They've come away with some wins. But despite the loss to Oklahoma, they were ranked. Now, this team who's unranked, Nebraska who's unranked, expected to be, this is going to be a physical game and going to be a really tough test for Michigan. Whoever, like I said before, whoever wins this game knows this is not going to be an easy game. Nebraska, tough one. Michigan, tough one. The keys for Michigan are this: air it out, push the run game, make the run game go well, and defense. Now, if you're Nebraska, defense, stop the run is pretty much all that your defense. Air it out, stop the run game, and plug and cover and coverage. And force turnovers, stop the run game, and pretty much air it out on offense, because their receiving defense has been horrific. Now, Central Michigan, despite giving up only 60 yards on pass defense, it's the game with Oklahoma and them. They've given up so much air. You could pretty much do small slant passes and Michigan would fall apart in a heartbeat, because they leave the middle wide open. And anyone could play them could easily beat them in the middle, and they would charge right downfield and gain lots of yardage. Even the short screen passes maybe can hurt them. That's what Oklahoma also played on them, was the short screen passes. Even the slant passes, the wheel routes, you play those on them, it's a victory for Nebraska. And I've seen Nebraska play that a lot. So if Nebraska plays those kind of games, they have Michigan beat. Now, I don't know what else Nebraska has up in their sleeve, if they plan on pulling something else out of their sleeve, but I think it'll be a good game. I think whoever comes out on top, it'll be a close one. It's not going to be a blowout by all means, not like Central Michigan, but it's going to be a close one. And I look for this to be a very good game. With that being said, hit the like button, hit the bell for notifications. With that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.